What is going on, Outriders? Today I'm excited to share some new information. I know many of you, myself included, have had a lot of questions about the launch of Outriders, the future of the game, in-game content, how are they handling cheaters, so on and so forth. Today I plan on answering a lot of those questions as an ambassador for the game. I'm kind of a middle person between the community and the developers, so if you have any concerns, issues, so on and so forth, feel free to post them down in the comment section below, and I can try to go ahead and pass them on to them. But if you guys enjoy Outriders content, I recommend you to subscribe, stay tuned, tick that notification bell, and if you can leave a like on the video, it'll help me out tremendously. I have 6 little segments today breaking down a bunch of information and news about the game leading up to the April 1st release date. Now, we're going to start with the first segment, future content and what it holds. They are prepared to add new content in the future. Now, this is all going to come down to sales and popularity. If it's received well, they'll continue to make more content for Outriders. They are not currently considering PvP. And seasonal events are something that they want to, but rely on the launch reception. This is something that we see a lot of similar games do, and something I'm personally a fan of to keep bringing people back with meta shifts and new things to pursue. Next up, we have the in-game. Solo content is possible even at the highest level, including expeditions, though they will be considerably harder than average story mission campaign. Now, 3-person parties are also their goal. They do not want to extend beyond that. 1 or 2 player parties, completely up to you. There will not be in-game communications. They want you to rely on Steam or Discord as your source of communication with your team. On this note, I have a little link down in the description below. If you would like to join our Discord, we have voice channels set up, loot channels to brag about your drops, theory crafting, build guides, everything located in our own personal one if you would like to become part of our community. Expeditions will, in fact, have matchmaking, which is very exciting. Not too great without voice comms, but that'll probably come down to their difficulty. Expeditions are going to be 14 entirely new maps, each different with their own challenges and can tie into the story mission with lore. Expeditions will also have simple mechanics to tackle them. Nothing extremely advanced, but just how do I handle this situation, and you have to maybe figure out a way to beat a certain portion of the expedition. They intend to work with ambassadors like myself for balance, as again, middle people in the community to refer other things to them. Third on the list are gameplay changes. All guns will have unique recoil patterns. This is something worth noting. If you get really good with one, hopefully you can understand how to use it and master it. All explosive guns and projectiles will have splash damage. This does in fact include mods that you can equip to your guns. Some epic variants actually alter the appearance of guns, so the more you modify some of the guns with their variants, they could completely change and look even more epic, including based on their rarity. People Can Fly stated that replayability is the core principle of the genre. It's great that they know this, because replayability is obviously health to the game, the longer it can survive, and this is all about sustainability, and I'm really excited to see them talk about this, because that's one of my only key features, is how is endgame going to work? How are they going to keep us coming back? Can we play this for even years down the line? We'll see. Next up, campaign and expeditions can be repeated, which is no surprise to anyone. There are currently no plans for a horde mode at launch, but they're considering adding it possibly later. The reason for this is because the final activity in the game is known as Eye of the Storm, and it's considered the hardest in-game activity, and solo players should only hope to accomplish this if you have near-perfect builds. So again, a lot of, I guess, brainstorming and things were out there, yes, pun intended, about what Eye of the Storm was going to be. People considered maybe a survival mode, a horde mode, so I'm guessing it's actually probably going to be just a very difficult expedition on its own. DLC will depend on the reception of the game. We've spoken on this before. Honestly, they were really surprised with the 2 million people that had signed up during the demo. They're surprised with how many people are farming for legendaries. A lot of this is very positive information, and if this continues to do well and thrive, you can expect future DLC for this game. Next up, let's talk about the cheaters. Countering cheaters is a top priority for them. Cheaters can locally manipulate the game files, but when they connect to servers, they can be clearly identified. Now, with this, they have an action plan ready for launch. Because of people being able to make multiple accounts through Steam, they're not fully basically launching it right now. They're waiting until it's time. One of the possible punishments they are considering is banning them from multiplayer. So those that actually want to cheat and manipulate their game files locally can do so on their own. But because of that, they should not be allowed into multiplayer. So they are definitely weighing their options on how they want to handle cheating. In a way, it's kind of like if you plan on playing on your own and never with anyone else, feel free to do it. But on the other end, if you plan on going online, clearly it's unfair, and they don't want that rolling over into the general public. So don't do it if you plan on playing with friends. Last and definitely not least is the final segment, the Q&A questions that the ambassadors, like myself, gave and offered from the community and asked the developers, and they came back with these answers. We asked them, hey, what do you think about a blood and a gore toggle? They said they're not currently considering it. They're also not considering auto-skip cutscene toggles. Inventory locking is being looked at. I know a lot of people, myself included, pretty much always delete gear. We want loadouts. Again, something else that they're thinking of. Not currently high on their priority list, but hopefully we get it at some point. Cutscene frame rate issues are currently being worked on. Hopefully have it by launch, but they're not guaranteeing it. The migraine and grim marrow perks are possibly being reworked. They've identified an issue with the migraine, and if the same issue persists on the grim marrow, they will rework that one as well. A big question people have been asking is what kind of expansion are we expecting out of the stash? They're looking at anywhere between 50 and 100 slots, and that's going to be across your account, shared entirely across your characters. So yes, you can trade your gear from character to character. The auto scrap function is kind of a work in progress. This is something they know people want, but they got to figure out exactly how to do it if they execute it at all. Reminder that all of this is subject to change and could be something we see or may not see. Transmog is not going to be available on release. They are currently looking into it, possibly in the future. Again, probably one of those features that if this game is received well and lots of copies and activity come to the game, we'll probably end up seeing this one. Lost items are currently being investigated. They know this is a problem. They currently have a fix ready to go, I think, on the next patch. They're actively looking towards other ways that this can happen and trying to prevent this from happening at full game. Now, whether or not they're going to be replacing gear is probably another thing they're going to be questioning. I don't know how easy that will be or if it's even reasonable to replace some of the stuff that current people have lost. Now, April 1st release date is a confident launch date for them. They said that this thing is set in stone. Barring anything completely unforeseen, this date is not going to be postponed any further than it currently has been. Cosmetics are not planned for the game. Currently, only available for the truck. In-game chat and leaderboards are a future possibility. They actually consider this a priority, but with so many other game issues and just overall things they need to get ready and polished for the launch, this is just going to probably be something they tackle post-launch when the game is already out there and ready for us to play. That is all I have for you in this video. I hope you guys have some answers to those questions. I'm sure I've got more to share with you leading up to the launch of the game on the 1st of April. But for now, I'm very content with a lot of these questions. I still have my reservations about in-game, and I will continue to talk about them in future videos. But for now, I'm going to continue streaming this game, farming for legendaries, and getting as prepped as I possibly can for Outriders. I'm really excited for it. I hope to see you guys in the Discord. Reminder, that's one of the only ways you can communicate, and I really do invite you in to become part of our community. But if you have any questions whatsoever, leave them down in the comment section below. As an ambassador, I can kind of relay these to the developers, talk about these, and if we have another question and answer in the near future, we will go ahead and ask these questions for you guys and try to make sure we can get some answers and clarification for you. So thanks again for all the support. Thanks for clicking on this video. Welcome to all the new people to the community. I can't wait to get some games in with you guys. See you soon.